Hello, class. Um, Wrap up for week 4 and do a little bit of discussion about the week 5, your first assignment. So in week 4, you were at PowerPoint, a short PowerPoint presentation, a couple of slides, and you would complete a table. I guess in the first slide, complete a table that included a number of countries, including the U.S., Canada, all the way through to China. You had an enrollment period of 18 months, and then choose which countries, based on the information that you have and that you were what was made available to you. The startup timelines as to whether or not you would select that country or not. A lot of similarities, but there were some differences and some very interesting differences that were completely legitimate and that could be completely viable. Some of them that that were discussed were included. Uh, Someone did not want to include U.S. sites that use local IRBs. Typically, institutions. I'm not a fan myself. They typically take a very long time. Process is very complicated. It tends to be more expensive, but there are times when you need them. There may be, and oftentimes, there are KOLs or key opinion leaders that work out of institutions, work out of university hospitals, and research centers, and so they need to be included. Point is that there's going to be a lot of variables that need to be considered, and you make your best choice. Brazil and China were typically left off because they simply took too long. Again, like the U.S. sites that use local IRBs, there are going to be instances in which they have to be included. For example, let's say that the drug that you are looking at or the device needs to be marketed or is planned to be marketed in one of those countries, and so some of the research has to actually take place there. And so there would have to be some discussion internally about how you would go about doing that. Now, keep in mind that these timelines and the information that you've been provided, for the most part, is true today. But I know that China, I'm not so sure about Brazil, but I know that China has been working to reduce their timelines. So always keep that in mind. The information that we provide you here could be updated, and so everything needs to be confirmed. And that was something else that you always need to see is that the timelines between the students looking at similar countries or the same countries was not the same. So it cannot be stressed enough that you have a firm understanding of exactly what those timelines are, because you cannot make an informed decision or pass along that information if it's incorrect. The second slide just had the country start timelines and exactly how long everything was going to take. Assignment. First assignment, you're going to be building on the information that you had from weeks 3 and 4 with, again, stressing the building part. So there's going to be some additional flavor to it. There's going to be additional information to be looked at, and it's a PowerPoint presentation. It's a particularly tough therapeutic area. And in this PowerPoint presentation, there's a significant list of areas to be looked at, criteria to be looked at. And you are to pick 5 of those areas, of those criteria, and whatever you were to list what may influence sponsors' decision to select a particular country. So that's what you're going to be discussing, and then present why it's a particularly important criteria, and then how the information impacts the country analysis. So you're going to go into more detail than you did with week 4 as to exactly why those particular criteria are important. And as always, and of course, there's a lot more detail in the instructions than what I just gave you, but that's boiled down as to what's going to be important. References always have to be APA format and things like that. But all of that's in the instructions for the assignment. But as always, if you have questions that you cannot you can't easily understand from the instructions that provided, feel free to reach out to me. Otherwise, have a good night, and I look forward to looking over those presentations.